Today I'm back at the Kuching Waterfront to talk about how criminally underrated this place is. I've been here for a month now. It's starting to feel like home. I do have to leave on Friday, but today I just quickly want to touch on some topics and explain a little more about why I think this place is Southeast Asia's next big thing. Let's do it. And by the way, if you have no idea where I am, Kuching is the capital city of Sarawak, which is the largest state of Malaysia, and it's on Borneo Island, which is actually divided into three between Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brunei. The first thing I want to talk about is how picturesque this place is. I just love coming to walk here on the waterfront. It's so peaceful. It's a really long walkway, so it's a great place to come and exercise as well. And the other day I even went to a local park and I was amazed at how beautiful that was as well. And I actually had that whole park to myself. It was just the perfect place to go for a walk and exercise. I loved it. And if you find yourself with a pair of shoes that are starting to look a little like mine are, yellow, you can just pop into one of the shopping malls in Kuching. They have all the brand stores and some pretty good prices. I ended up getting some Pumas for 70 bucks. They did have some Adidas on sale for 35, but the Pumas just felt nicer. What can I say? This place just exudes peace and tranquility. We all know the Malaysians are very friendly people, and here you can just walk in peace. Everyone's just going about their business. No one's hassling you. And the city's also surrounded by these beautiful mountains and lush greenery. We're going to talk about all the national parks and natural beauty that they have around here too. Plus you can see there's little boats behind me, and on any given day you can just go for a little boat tour on the river or even a bigger cruise. Let's talk about the absolute surplus of activities that they have here in Kuching. I was so impressed by this. If you're on the backpacker trail, the two most exciting and famous activities seem to be number one, going to the Semengo Wildlife Sanctuary, and that's where you're going to see all the orangutans. I did have the opportunity of going, and it was such an amazing day. Very affordable, very easy to get to, so I really loved that. And yesterday, I went to the Bako National Park, also a very attractive activity around here. Obviously, I'm super tired because I was hiking the whole day, but it's just such an amazing national park, and it's also really easy to get to. So even if you were here for a longer time, like I was for 1 month, you could go to the Bako National Park quite a few times and see something different every single time. Or you could go to many of the other national parks that they have around. There's at least 3 or 4 that are like within 1 hour distance, so there's so much to do here in Kuching, and I only touched the surface, but I've really enjoyed my time here. So just behind me in the back you will see Fort Margarita, and that is just one of the many places where you can learn more about the history of Kuching. I also went to the Borneo Cultures Museum, which is an amazing building. I was there for hours, really enjoyed my day there. There's also a lot of cultural places you can visit, like the Sarawak Cultural Village, where you can learn a lot about the local customs. If you watched this video up here, then you've already seen me try the local dish here in Sarawak, which is called Sarawak Laksa, and this dish was absolutely delicious. It's basically a noodle dish with meat and a very creamy broth full of spices. It was incredible, and I think I'm gonna have to have one for lunch since I'm gonna be leaving soon. And this region is home to the best laksa in Malaysia, some might say. But it's not just the Malaysian food here in Kuching. Of course, because of Malaysia's ethnic diversity, you also have a lot of Indian food and Chinese food. And what I really like about Kuching is that sometimes as a foreigner, you need a break from all of the Asian food, and you can find any other food from all over the planet. So I've had sushi here, I've had burgers and pizza. You can really find it all here in Kuching. I don't know if I made myself clear with these national parks. When you go to these places, you're heading deep into the Borneo jungle, and that means that it's extremely wild. You can only get there by boat, so it's pretty much untouched, and you see a lot of cool animals. Yesterday I saw the bearded pig, which was awesome, and of course the most famous monkey that everyone looks for at Bako National Park, which is the proboscis monkey, something like that. Honestly, it's the one that has like a penis-faced nose, but if you're lucky, you can see lots and lots of wildlife here in Kuching as well. Kuching also has a pretty exciting and charming mix of architecture. Behind me, you'll see a traditional Chinese temple, and then right next to it, a lot of like traditional style colonial era buildings and a lot of modern architecture as well. That huge building on the waterfront, the Legislative Assembly of Kuching, is honestly one of the coolest buildings I've ever seen. Of course, in most of Southeast Asia, you can find craft and food markets spread all around the town, and Kuching is no exception. But one thing that did catch my eye that's a little different around here is just how cultural this city is. They have so many cultural events. Just while I was here, they had the annual food festival, which had over 300 stalls. You can check that out in this video here. It was also Malaysia's Independence Day while I was here, and they celebrated that like crazy with karaoke spread all over the town. And there were so many other festivals that happened while I was here. I believe there was a lights festival and a floral festival, so no shortage of things to do around Kuching. Let me quickly talk about the Malaysian people here in Kuching. They are so full of warmth and hospitality, and they will always greet you with a smile. I have definitely not been mistreated here. And another cool thing about the local population is that, like all of Malaysia, their English level is very good. They learn English from a young age. So if you are an English speaker, you will have no trouble traveling around Malaysia. It's also nice to have a good balance of foreigners and some opportunities to meet people from all over the world, especially at hostels. And I feel like Kuching does offer that as well. There's a good amount of foreigners and tourists without it being too overwhelming like you get in some places like Bali and Thailand. Another thing I really enjoyed about Kuching is the number of traditional shops that you see around. Maybe some of them have been here for like 100 years or so. I'm talking about vinyl shops and cafes and of course artisanal shops as well. So it really gives that traditional vibe to the town. And hey, at the end of the day, at least I can say I have promoted Malaysia's hidden gem, Kuching, here in Borneo. My next stop is going to be KK, Kota Kinabalu, which is in the Malaysian state of Sabah, pretty much on the edge of Malaysia before I head on over to the Philippines. So if you want to see what KK is like, click on that video that's on your screen and follow me to Kota Kinabalu. I'll see you on the next one.